welcome in to the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I am your unusual host today, JL, and I am joined, as not per usual, with two fill-in guests because Simon and Josh are dead to me. So that's that. That's where we're at. So we're out on this Tuesday. Joined to my right, we are joined by a good friend of the show, Coupe Fiasco, a.k.a. Andrew Cooper. Coupe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. And just want to say as official, co-host of the show,
Yes.
Just want to shout out to my personal sponsor, the Grimace Gang. What up, Jay? What up, Craig? What's up, everybody? Also want to say thank you, Josh, Joey, and Simon for not showing up. Way to go, guys. And finally, just want to thank me. None of this could have been possible without me. So
none of it.
Hats off to me and Nate, and let's have a good show, right?
Amen. Coupe is a lead NFL analyst at Fantasy Alarm, if you don't know, and he's just a good man with his words. Also, we're joined by another good friend of the show, Nate Polvote, at Nate Polvote. He's a founder of IBT Media. Nate, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'd like to thank Coupe as well for being here with me, and Jake and JL and everybody involved with FYF. Always a good time. You guys are great. Stoked to be here.
Awesome. I just asked about your day, but I'm glad we got all that rest of that information.
Oh, my days, dude, I have a 4-year-old. My day is a mess every day. Like, just assume that something weird happened to me.
Let's just every day. Every day. And guys, we are joined by special guest today, Jake Ellenbogen. He's at JK Bogan. He's CEO of Downtown Rams, and he's got his own YouTube channel under his own name. Make sure you go check that out. Jake, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you guys so much for bringing me in on this cornucopia of love.
Did I say your last name correct? I completely forgot to ask you before the show.
Ellenbogen?
Ellenbogen.
Yeah.
Did I say it right? I think I did. I think I nailed it. We'll see.
You're close enough.
Enough. We got some people here in the chat. Scott saying, "Hey, FYF Pete's. What up, Scott? Welcome back." And Jay also welcoming him back. And we got Craig in here saying, "I hope you all are having a great day." And not just the chat, you guys on the show too. Well, we are, Craig. Thanks for asking. Thank you for asking. We got Brady in here. What's up, guys? What up, Brady? Welcome in. Maria, hello. Kaysen, what's good, lads? What's good to you? Oh, and I'll just highlight this comment here. JL is a genius. Thank you. Come here now, Beach. I can't disagree with you. I don't know.
How much did you pay for them to make that comment?
It was a very, very economical.
It comes from the same IP address at JL's house, though.
Yeah, I know that.
It's a bot from Discord
in here. Yeah, and we got some Grimace Gang. Gang. All right, guys, brought you on today to play some poll perception. It's our OG gang. You guys ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go through the rules real quick. Before I do, make sure you follow all three of these guys on social media, on their Twitters, and check out Jake's YouTube channel. It's a fantastic follow. Make sure you go follow him there. And make sure you follow us, like this video, hit that subscribe button. We're here every single weekday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, playing games just like this. And as always, it is a good time. All right, guys, the game today, it's poll perception. I went and found 7 polls online. 7 polls. I'm gonna be honest, they're all from Twitter. Today. We're gonna go through, and for each poll, one of you is gonna give me a guess percentage. You might say what percentage of the public chose side A of this poll? It might be Saquon Barkley over DeAndre Hopkins. So I might ask Coop that. Coop would say 64%. And then Nate and Jake are going to each give me over under on Coop's guess. And depending on how close Coop is, he's going to get points. And if Nate and Jake both get the over or under correctly, they're going to get 2 points. In the second round, we're going to add in a little fun, a little mixture here. The contestants who aren't guessing the percentage are going to be able to guess way over or way under for double or nothing points. And then in the final round, each contestant's going to write down their guess for the final poll. Whoever's the closest is going to get 5 points. And that's pretty much the game. You guys ready? Any questions?
Let's do it.
Sounds great.
All right. The order we're going to go in today. Coop, you're going first. Nate, you're going second. Jake, you're going third.
Sounds good.
All righty.
And we got Scott Fish in here saying, I'm starting a new YouTube channel called Front Yard Fallacy, where I go over the mistakes made on Front Yard Fantasy. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I am looking forward to seeing that. It sounds like you'll have a lot of content to work with. And Scott asking, did I pull the paycheck of the other guys this week? I pull their paycheck every week, and they never complain. I don't know why they're complaining now. I have no idea. And let's see. All right. All right, guys. We're going to get into our first poll here. Coop, you're going first.
Okay. Quick questions, because I was reading the chat instead of listening to the rules, even though I've played this. Just love that chat, dude. Yeah. So it's closest to, not like closest to without going over, right?
Yes. No going over rules. This is in Price is Right.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. It'll be easy once we get into it. All right, Coop, starting with you. Here's your first poll, my friend. Superflex, Dynasty, PPR. Who is your 101? Breece Hall, Drake London, Kenny Pickett, or D, other? What percentage of the public chose side A in this poll?
A. Dude, I would go as far as to say that 70% of people chose A, maybe even higher.
70%. Final answer? Locking that in?
Final. Lock it in.
Locking it in. All right. 70%. Coop says. Nate, is the actual percentage over or under Coop's guess of 70%?
Well, if I trusted people, I'd say over, because really it should be Breece Hall, but I don't trust people, so I'm going to say under.
You're going to say the under. All right.
Taking the under.
Make sure I add you here to my list. That's pretty important.
Yeah, it is pretty important.
All right, Nate, you said the under. Jake, is the actual percentage over or under Coop's guess of 70%?
Well, I'm going to say it's over. I'm not as high on Breece Hall, but I know a lot of people are. He's going to the Jets. Big market. I'm going to say over 70.
Taking the over on 70%. Coop, you split the room. You split the contestants here. That's pretty impressive in its own right. We got Albert in here saying, hello, everybody. Hello, Albert.
Hi, Albert.
Welcome. And we got Craig guessing 61%, Shevin guessing 63%, Kaysen guessing 23%, Albert guessing 69%. Come here now with 40%, Scott 58%, Dame with 78%, and Mr. Scampers with 49%. So kind of all over the place. Coop, are you feeling confident now in your guess?
Yeah, I mean, Nate made a good point that like we want to go with what our thoughts are, but you're right that we're trying to guess what other people's thoughts are, and other people can be ridiculous. That's why we're so good at fantasy football, because everyone else is so bad at it.
Yep.
Everybody else sucks. Yeah, I can see
it's
that.
It's not that we're actually good; it's they're so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a whole inverse thing. All right, we had a guess of 70% of people chose Breece Hall in this poll. Nate took the under. Jake took the over. The actual percentage of people chose side A was 87%.
Damn.
87%. So Jake, you're going to get 2 points on this one. Coop, you were 17 percentage points away, so you're not going to get any points. The scoring system is like this. If it's within 5, you're going to get 5 points. If it's within 10, you're going to get 3 points. And if it's within 15, you're going to get 1 point. If you hit it exactly on the head, you're going to get 10 points. All right, fellas?
I've played this before. That's why it's so crazy. I don't know how to play.
That is pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy.
Like I've been on this show as a guest doing this game. But now it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. I wonder what happened last time. I'm very curious how you got through it, but we'll dissect that one later. So 70%. So Jake, you're going to get 2 points on this one. Let me ask you guys before we move on to our next poll. How are you feeling about the rookie landing spots after the draft this past weekend? Who is someone that you're maybe jumped up in your rankings or maybe jumped down in your rankings? Who are some of like the biggest movers to you based off the landing spot after this past weekend? Why don't we start with you, Jake?
Well, I got to say I was really disappointed that Pierre Strong went to the Patriots. I felt like this was somebody that could come in right away, and you're talking 1,000-yard rusher in his first season. I think, he was the Eli Mitchell of this year, and now I got to kind of push back a little bit and say he's not. Also, they drafted Kevin Harris, so I'm going to say that was a little disappointing. Strong was my number 3 running back in the draft. But I think, Kenneth Walker, and I understand people will have pause because of the way Rashad Penny played and Chris Carson. Look, I don't even know if Chris Carson is going to play another down in the league, as sad as that is with his neck. Yeah. So Kenneth Walker, in my opinion, was by far the best running back in this draft. And I think the only pause that people had was that he didn't do this at Wake Forest. It's why he transferred to Michigan State. So they wouldn't really let him play in the same way. And this guy, he goes over 250 touches or whatever this past season and really showed that, he belongs. And I thought he could have gone the first round. So he goes to Seattle here after they had just added Charles Cross to the offensive line. They pay Austin Blythe. You're looking at Gabe Jackson at right guard. You're looking at Damian Lewis, a 3rd-round pick at LSU at left guard. And then, they go out and get Abraham Lucas at right tackle. They're going to need to run the ball. And I understand Rashad Penny will have some run, but I think Kenneth Walker is going to be this guy that, we talk about, Rashad Penny and DJ Dallas and Travis Homer. I think Kenneth Walker is going to have a hold of this backfield. So, when he went to Seattle, it was a little weird, but I actually moved him up in my rankings because of that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people very hyped on Kenneth Walker, and my immediate reaction was like what you were saying. Like I was like, oh no, like Seattle, that can't be that great. And I've started to come around a little bit on it. Are you taking him ahead of Breece Hall in rookie drafts, or is Breece Hall still locked in that number 1 position?
Breece Hall was never my number 1.
Okay.
I have some concerns with him. First off, he had over 800. Well, he had 800 touches in college, so he's got some mileage there. Secondly, I really think Michael Carter is fantastic. I mean, I really think, it's not like a Rashad Penny thing where, Penny took a little bit to get going and, he had a really good end of the season stretch. But when you look at, what Michael Carter did last year, I mean, he was phenomenal as a receiving back. And I feel like, when you're looking at just the value at pick 101, I think Breece Hall as a receiver, I don't know why you would go away from Michael Carter because he looked, phenomenal last year, I think, as a receiving back. So I don't trust it as much. Obviously, they got Breece Hall in the 2nd round, so it's not like they're not going to use him. But I would, be more inclined to go with the receiver that, is going to get yards after the catch, is going to get a lot of catches, a lot of targets thrown his way. And I think you look at guys like, say, Jameson Williams. I think, when he gets cleared, I think he's going to be ready to go for, the Lions. I think when you look at, Drake London, his ability, that big bodied, kind of Mike Evans type of guy there. On top of it, I would say Garrett Wilson on the same team. So Breece Hall is not actually in my top 5, believe it or not. I'm really, really high on Kenneth Walker, and don't let the helmet fool you in the background. I actually am really high on Kyren Williams long term because, with the way the injuries have been in the Rams backfield, you look at, obviously with Darrell Henderson, but now Cam Akers coming off an injury that guys just don't have a good success rate coming back from. Kyren Williams does it all to stay on the field. So he's kind of a tricky one. I wouldn't pick him super high, but I think he's definitely in the conversation, right around that pick. And James Cook also for Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah. Super interesting. Like, I'm glad you said the Kyren Williams bit because I picked him in our mock draft yesterday. So hopefully,
there you go.
Comes back positive remarks. Coop, let me ask you the same question. Who's been the biggest mover for you after these landing spots in the draft?
Well, I'll tell you that my overall opinion is that this draft really smoothed things out, right? Because you got these high-end guys that everyone really loved, the Drake Londons, the Garrett Wilsons, the Treylon Burks. Those guys could have gone to landing spots like Kansas City or Green Bay or Buffalo or somewhere, and they didn't. And then you have the guys that everyone was on the fence on, like the Christian Watsons and the Sky Moores, and those guys did go to the amazing landing spots. So it really took what could have been a high-end draft and really spread it out. Like, say your draft goes Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. Now it's like from 3 to 7 or 8. I mean, I don't mind any of those guys. I just hope I get one of them. You know what I mean? As opposed to like a situation where I'm desperately trying to trade up to 3 or 4 to get the guy that is good and went to the good spot. It's like you kind of got to pick your poison. So for me, it really smoothed out the situation. The biggest faller for me as a tight end guy, I mean, Trey McBride, you got to discount the fact that he's going to start behind Zach Ertz. I mean, even just for poll perception, what we're talking about here, the perception now is that he's probably not going to jump off the page week 1 or even year 1 or even year 2. Like, think about like Zach Ertz stuck behind Dallas Goedert or even Cole Kmet kind of playing along Jimmy Graham. Like, he's probably not going to pop right away. We just hope that he's not the next Vance McDonald sitting 7 years behind Delaney Walker sitting 7 years behind Vernon Davis, or Vance McDonald sitting behind guys. It's like, you never know. But in this situation, you got to move him down just because of perception. Yeah.
No, I'm with that. Nate, what about you?
So for me, it was Jahan Dotson. I really liked the guy. I like his skill set, and I just don't see it popping in Washington unless something changes, at least year one. But then James Cook's my biggest riser because, dude, Buffalo needs that dynamic in their backfield. They've been trying to catch it with Moss and Singletary. They haven't been able to. James Cook is like an Alvin Kamara type running back. And I think for Josh Allen, that could be the piece that gets them over the hump and maybe gets them into a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah, I'm with that. All right, guys. You guys ready to get into our next poll here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Nate. This one is yours. Superflex Dynasty. Who would you rather roster, Zach Wilson or Malik Willis? What percentage of the public chose Zach Wilson in this poll?
I think this one's going to be close because there's a perception that Zach Wilson is going to bust. I'm one of those people. Let's say 62% to Zach Wilson.
62% final answer.
Final answer.
All right, 62%. Jake, was the actual percentage over or under Nate's guess of 62%?
I'm going to say under because I think recency bias is going to have a lot to say about this. So I'm going to say under here for Zach Wilson. I agree with the 62%. I think that's first off, that's a great pick there. And I would lean towards Zach Wilson, but I think that there are people that have already made up their minds that he's a bust, despite the fact, they're not looking at, they just had Garrett Wilson. They've been interested in kicking the tires around on trading for, Tyreek Hill and Deebo Samuel and, Corey Davis. And, by the way, that Elijah Moore is pretty good. So, and they just added another running back to a room that, is already really good running back room. Mike LaFleur's OC. I don't know. I definitely think recency bias is going to take hold here. And I think people's lasting impression is going to be, they're going to remember when they're making this decision that Ryan Tannehill, the last time he threw a pass was an interception, a bad one, his third of the game in the playoffs. And they're going to be like, they're going to have it in their minds that Malik Willis will start this year at some point. And I think the recency bias will be the reason that this is the under on Wilson.
All right. Jake taking the under. Coop, is the actual percentage over or under Nate's guess of 62%?
Yeah, the recency bias is so interesting because, think about a guy like Gabriel Davis, right? Had they not made the playoffs, his last game would have been the Jets game where he had 14 targets and he caught 3 of them. But instead, because they progressed through the playoffs, he ended up with a 4-touchdown game. So now everybody loves him, But for this question, I think enough people are spiteful enough on Twitter to sit there and see Malik Willis not go for 2 rounds for them to just spitefully be like, I like anybody better than Malik Willis. So, and not to mention, enough people are sharp enough to see that they did add not only Garrett Wilson, but Breece Hall. And I mean, if they're really sharp, they realize that they added Laken Tomlinson at guard, which is, really solidifies that line with Elijah Vera Tucker, Mekhi Becton, George Fant. That could be one of the better lines. So I think you got to have Zach Wilson, the actual starting QB, ahead. And I think that enough people probably realize that. So I'm actually going to go over on this one.
Taking the over. Again, another split room here. Fellas. We got some guesses here in the chat. Craig, 62%. Okay. 69% from Shevin, 51% from Kaysen, 78% from Brady, 54% from Albert, 33% from Mr. Scampers, 54% from Dame, and 56% from Come Here Now. All right. So we had a guess. 62% of people chose Zach Wilson in this poll. Jake took the under. Coop took the over on that guess. Well, the actual percentage of people who chose Zach Wilson in this poll was 90%. 90%.
Wow.
People. Wow. Yes. I was
spite. That's at Twitter. Twitter's so mean. Twitter's so mean, bro.
What are you talking about? It's all Care Bears and unicorns, Andrew. Come on.
Not on my timeline.
That does make sense, though. Thinking about it now, I mean, if Malik goes in the first round, I'm sure that changes. Probably the fact that he fell in the 3rd round, and then what came out about him afterwards that he fell because he's literally 2 years behind, and he ran a really simple offense at Liberty that even scouts are saying is way more simpler than we were even realizing. So, all right, I can get that. I think that makes sense.
So, Jake, let me ask you, how do you feel about Malik Willis as a super flex dynasty asset? Long term, I know you spoke a little bit about what the perception is, but how are you making decisions around Malik Willis in your own super flex leagues?
Well, when I look at Malik Willis, I mean, he's my number 2 quarterback on the board behind only Ritter. I'm really high on Desmond Ritter, so, but I think Malik Willis, obviously with that ability to make plays, just extend plays, and obviously, his rushing is something that's going to give him some added value. I also think like last year, the Titans, whether they realized it or not, I mean, I think we all kind of realize the Titans are not winning a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill. They're just not. They can't get past that level with Tannehill. And I don't know if they can with Willis, but I do think at some point or another, maybe not this year, but next year, we could see Willis, ready to go. And he's going to have Robert Woods, who signed that long-term deal that's just kicking in, keep in mind, that the Rams traded away. So he'll be there for, the extended future. So it's him, it's Traylon Burks. They go out and they get the kid Kyle Phillips out of UCLA. I think is going to add, a little bit of punch there. They got Chega Conquo, who I really like as a, kind of just a weapon, right? Like not really a fullback, tight end, whatever. He's kind of a mix. So I think he's got some weapons. I think he has offensive line help. So I like the way it looks for Willis long term. So I will say, if I'm picking him, I'm realizing that it's not going to be this year, and it's probably going to be next year or 2 years from now. And I'm okay with that. But I'm not picking him to be a starter. And if you're doing that, you're jumping the gun a little bit. Now, if Tannehill should go down, he would be the backup. He'd come in and be the starter. But I mean, you can't just bank on an injury there. You know what I mean? So as far as just assuming everyone stays healthy and everything, and the course just runs itself, I mean, I think you're looking at Tannehill probably losing the job in 2 years. But I think obviously with the running ability when he does become a starter, I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And as soon as they made this pick, as soon as this happened, I was thinking like, it's very clear that they're going to sit him. It would really not make sense for them to start him this season. So Coop, let me ask you, if you're drafting a startup or I'm sorry, a rookie draft, I'd say like Superflex rookie draft, where are you taking Malik Willis?
Now, before I answer this question, can you do me a favor and put Scott Fish's last comment up on the screen here?
Of course I can. He said my timeline is pretty positive usually.
Of course your timeline's positive, Scott Fish. You're the nicest dude in all of fantasy football. And
what does anything mean to say to you?
You also have the keys to the greatest fantasy football tournament that's ever existed. Like, obviously your timeline's super positive. My timeline is all dudes from Reddit, and I'm also super mean to them. I'm mean to my followers. They're mean to me. My timeline is like the elephant graveyard in The Lion King, dude. Like, yours is all Hakuna Matata. So get out of here with, of course, your timeline's positive, Scott Fish. Get that out of here.
Yeah, we know.
For me, I'm in Dynasty Superflex. The thing I care most about, my number one thing that when I'm analyzing quarterbacks is, are they going to be a professional quarterback for a long time? Like, are they actually going to succeed in this league? I don't run out to best case scenario with rushing upside, which is why I had Trevor Lawrence as my QB1 last year, right? And I still have him as my QB1 over guys like Trey Lance and Justin Fields. I'm not jumping to that. When if they end up being actual NFL quarterbacks long term, then you move them up because the rushing's nice. But in this case, I still have Kenny Pickett ahead of Malik Willis, and I'm not taking Malik Willis until every high end RB and wide receiver prospect that I like goes, which is a lot of the guys in the first, second, and even third round. So for me, someone else is probably going to take Malik Willis before me.
Yeah. Nate, anything else to add there? Oh, you're muted, buddy. Classic
Nate. I do it once every episode. So there we go. It's out of the way. I like Malik Willis, but like to Andrew's point and to Jake's point, Ryan Tannehill's under contract through 2023 effectively. He has a 2024, 2025, but those are void years. So he's out after 2023. That's probably when we see Willis. That said, I'm not taking him in the first or second round of a Superflex draft because if he doesn't hit for 3 years, and then we don't even know if he's going to hit long term, I'm letting everybody else draft him early. When he does hit, maybe I'll try and acquire him, but I'm just not leading drafts with him right now.
Yeah. I'm with you. All right, guys, we're getting into our next poll here. Jake, this one is for you. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, here it is. Dynasty Superflex PPR. Which side would you rather roster Elijah Moore plus Elijah Mitchell or Javonte Williams? What percentage of the public chose Elijah Moore and Elijah Mitchell for this trade, for this poll?
I'm gonna say, A, and I'm gonna go with. It's tough because they just signed Melvin Gordon back, so I think that does have some sort of hit on Javonte. Again, recency bias.
And just to be clear, we're always choosing side A. We're guessing what percentage of the public chose the side A of this poll.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with 75% A.
75% of people chose side A of this poll. Locking that in?
Yes.
All right. Coop, you think the actual percentage is over or under?
Oh man, I was gonna go over, but Jake, it's too good of a guess, Jake. That's annoying. We should be worse at this, Jake. Do me a favor next time and be worse at this. I'm going to guess. Oh man, I'm still gonna guess under. I think there's enough Javonte Williams fans out there that are very vocal, and I don't know, man. Twitter is so reactionary; it could be over, but I'm gonna go under just because I think there's enough Javonte Williams people out there. I mean, he didn't get pushed all the way up to RB like 2 on keep trade cut, because people didn't believe in him long term. So I think it's still Javonte, but I don't know. Twitter, it's crazy. Nate.
All right, Nate, what do you think? What's the actual percentage, over or under?
I'm going over because Twitter is nuts and people overvalue and undervalue things so hard and so reactionary. I'm going to say over.
Taking the over of Jake's guess of 75%. 75%. All right, let me get back to my tab here. We had a good guest here in the chat. Well, first, Shevin was laughing at your comment to Scott Fish, and Green Screens Media says, "Who smells?" Probably.
That's probably. More like, that feels more like home on my timeline.
Yeah, this is exactly where I'm comfortable. Green Screen saying 22%, Dame saying 28%, Mr. Scamper's 11%, Craig with 30%, Shevin with 39%, and Albert with 35%. The entire chat's way lower. Way lower. Oh, we lost Coop there for a second. That's all right. So we had, my
dog is chewing stuff. Sorry.
Oh, that's all good. And your stuff's not important. You're not gonna let your dog do that.
Why don't I even come here?
I didn't sign up for this. All right, we had a guess from Jake. 75% of people chose Elijah Moore and Elijah Mitchell side of this poll, and Nate guessed the over. Coop guessed the under. Well, the actual percentage of people who chose side A in this poll was 70%. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was 30%. I read your guess wrong.
30.
What?
30%.
Wow.
30%.
What?
Yes.
Javonte people, you crazy.
Javonte people, you crazy. 30%. Craig, I think our chat
well
is filled
done,
with
sir.
the Javonte people. That is so tricky. So tricky.
That's nuts.
I'm shook.
That's crazy, man.
30%?
30% of people chose.
I mean,
Elijah Mitchell alone was better than Javonte Williams last year.
Like,
yeah, but
I don't.
If it's a startup draft,
are they that worried about Ty Davis Price? And I mean, like, I guess I don't understand. Like, because I mean, you're getting Elijah Moore and Elijah Mitchell, so you're getting, basically the de facto wide receiver one. You can say what you will about, obviously Garrett Wilson, but this guy already has, like, we know it works with Zach Wilson. Like, they have a chemistry there. And then Eli Mitchell is literally like the poster boy for how, picking a running back in the 5th or 6th, wherever they got him out of, Louisiana Lafayette, like, you could still find incredible value. He's in a Kyle Shanahan offense where mind blow, honestly. Like, I think Javonte is really good, but I would say he's a better running back than he is a fantasy running back. Like, he does the little things so well. Like, I feel like draft Twitter is like mixing in with like fantasy football Twitter here, because he does like the little things so well with like pass protection and things like that. But I mean, I don't get this, man. 30% is crazy. When you said 70, I was like, that's more like it. Yeah, but like 30% is just crazy.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the way that I see this breaking down is Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon signing there. I think people perceive that as, okay, I need to wait a little longer. But once I wait a little longer, I'm getting a round 1 guy, right? Or fantasy round 1 guy. With Elijah Moore, I think a lot of people are concerned. They have that concern already with him being on the Jets offense. And then adding Garrett Wilson scares them even more. And I think Elijah Mitchell, a lot of people are thinking, well, this is just a flash in the pan type of situation based off of his value. I'm not saying I believe any of that, but I do believe that.
I know.
Yeah, I think that might be maybe the public's perception on this, driving this so far down. 30% is interesting. It's full, right? Javonte Williams. How do you feel about this?
Was that to me?
Yeah, Nate.
To me.
Nate.
I think it's crazy. And I'm a Broncos fan. Okay. Like, obviously, I live in Denver. Big fan, lifelong fan. Love Javonte Williams. But they brought back Melvin Gordon. So they clearly believe that he needs help in that backfield. And this won't be the last season he has a Melvin Gordon type sharing a backfield. I feel like this is something that they're going to do throughout his career. This is how Hackett's going to run that backfield. That's great. As a Broncos fan, I don't care how they do it. Just win. For fantasy, I think we all are a little too high on Javonte Williams. Could that change? Possibly. Maybe Hackett does something a little bit different with this offense. We see something different during the season. Melvin Gordon was more of a insurance piece that was fairly inexpensive because his market value wasn't huge in free agency. But ultimately, Elijah Mitchell and Elijah Moore are going to have far more upside the next 2 to 3 seasons than Javonte Williams alone. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah. And then you have to ask yourself, so I waited all this time, and I guess the same thing goes with Malik Willis. I waited all this time. Is it worth waiting all this time and stashing Javonte Williams and passing on running backs in this draft and passing on quarterbacks, with Malik Willis in like the next draft? Like, are you willing to tell me that waiting 2 years for Malik Willis is worth it when you can just get, the kid out of, Ohio State next year, or Bryce Young from Alabama? Because I don't think so. And I think that's, people fall in love too much with their guys. I feel like there's a lot of overvaluing here. And, I mean, it'd be different if this is one of the rare circumstances where the NFL is clearly leaning towards being more of the running back by committee. But instead, here it's like, this isn't any different. Like, he's going to have a timeshare with Melvin Gordon. They didn't just bring him back, and Melvin wouldn't have just signed just to sign. Like, he's clearly going to have a role. I think that's way too high. And I mean, you have guys that are like, I'm just blown away. Like Jonathan Taylor, for instance, like if it was that, where you're bringing Melvin Gordon and okay, he's going to take like 400, receiving yards away from, Javonte Williams, like say like a Nyheim Hines. Okay. Like, whatever, but I don't think that's what this is at all. I'm still blown away. I totally agree with you. Nate, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll say you guys pretty much said it, man, that like this is an organization that used a split backfield. They brought in a coach, Nathaniel Hackett, who just came from a team where they split with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams and then split with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Like everything points to them continuing to do that, so I don't see why you would. I mean, I guess the upside is there if you think he's that good, but these NFL teams don't look at it the way we do in fantasy. In fantasy, like last year, everyone on Twitter was looking at the Washington Commanders, and they were like, "Oh, they have 2 good pass catching backs. Why wouldn't they use just one?" Right? Like that's how Twitter thinks. Whereas the NFL thinks, "Oh, we have 2 good players. Let's use them both."
Let's use them both. Yeah.
So that's we got to get out of that mindset of like, why wouldn't they just use this one guy if they have all these guys? Yeah. It's the other way around the NFL.
Playing a different game.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna get into round 2 of our polls. Y'all ready for this?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I heard it too. All right, we're back to you. Here's your second poll, my friend. Oh, let me elaborate on the rules that I mentioned in the second one. So this one, contestants who aren't guessing, you're going to be able to choose way over or way under if you think the person guessing, if you think their guess is more than 15 percentage points off. All right. If you get it correct, you get 4 points instead of 2, but you're going to get 0 points if it's, just under. If you choose way under, you only, and it's only under, it's within 15, you're not going to get any points on that one. Any questions? Is that clear?
Just want to make it clear to you guys that you can choose way over or way under, but you risk me getting really offended. So just keep that in mind.
That is true. You have to take into account feelings here. That is what's important.
You're used to it. It's fine.
I know. No, you have to say way, way over for me to get offended. Anything else is just normal.
No.
All right, Coop. Here's your next poll: Dynasty Superflex rebuilding. Which side would you rather roster? 2022 203 plus a 2023 second, or Deontay Johnson? What percentage of the public chose the picks, side A, in this poll?
I would go as far as to say that only like 15% of the public would choose the picks over the player in this instance because they're second round picks. So I'm going to say 15%, leaving the door open for way, way over.
Yes. So it looks like I don't think you would want to take way under on this one. Way under on this one. So Nate, do you think the actual percentage of people chose under, over, or way over Coop's guess of 15%?
I'm going to say way over. I got to catch up here. I'm down by 4 to Coop. So
How dare you?
Whatever. Unfollow me. It's fine.
I would never. Nate,
I know.
We're buddies.
We are. It's true.
All right. Taking the way over. Jake, do you think the actual percentage is under, over, or way over his guess of 15%?
I feel like way over is a trap. Sorry, Nate, you fell into it. I'm going to say over. I think it'll be like barely over, but yeah, I don't know. I could totally see like if this like Coop was saying, like if this was like first round picks, obviously you'd go with the picks, but I just feel like when people are like, oh, well, like Deontay Johnson, 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, yeah, I'll go over 15%.
Let me add one thing to this, just because I'm gaming the Twitter polls. I know how many people out there just completely ignore the question and just pick what they like better out of the two options. So half these people probably didn't even read the word rebuilding. They're probably just like, click Deontay Johnson. I like him.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. That's absolutely true. Craig guessing 12%, Brady guessing 42%, Albert 20%, Mr. Scampers 33%, Green Screen 16%, Chevin 14%, and Dane 24%. And Green Screen said, "Someone please say way under." That's 0%. 0%. Well, the actual percentage of people who chose side A in this poll, the picks. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure my number here is correct.
We don't want a whole 70% fiasco again, JL.
I know. This is what happens when Simon and Josh are
here. I haven't recovered from that.
Just double check.
We may never.
The hype of that, I was like, awesome. I picked 75 and it ends up being 70. They're like, nope, it's 30. I'm like,
Jake,
I know.
Are you more hurt by this or your $75,000 Dodgers bet?
Yeah,
75,000. I mean, I did bet $75,000. Right. But yeah, I hope the Dodgers lose every game for the rest of time.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I love it.
As a Red Sox fan, I'd be fine with that.
Yep.
Okay, I wrote down just the wrong number.
Can we toss the Yankees in with that statement as well, please?
Hey, now, I mean,
hell yeah, throw them in there.
I don't know if you noticed, but
yeah, let's go, dude. I'll root for the Rockies too. Why not?
All right.
I love Charlie Blackmon.
Me too, man. That his hair,
awesome.
His hair never change.
Yeah.
All right, for double confirmed, triple confirmed. The actual percentage of people who chose a second in this poll was 8%.
Oh,
8%. Coop,
8%?
Wait, is that 8? So? What distance does it need to be way under? Is it more than how much?
So you box both of these guys out because you said 15%, and so neither of them are going to get points. You were 7 percentage points away, which is going to give you 3 points. Yes. All right.
Wow.
Going to give you 3 points on that one. Well,
y'all
done.
are crazy with their not reading skills. Just like Deontay Johnson.
Bro, I've had people do that with my polls. That's why I was like, nobody's reading that. Rebuild. Yeah. Like Deontay. I like him.
So how are you guys feeling about Deontay? Pittsburgh, they drafted a wide receiver in the draft. Deontay Johnson, I feel like a lot of people are oscillating on him, his value. He's got a new quarterback. Big Ben is gone. How you guys feeling about Deontay Johnson going into next season? Nate, let's start with you.
There's a lot up in the air because we're talking about, is it going to be Mitchell Trubisky or is it going to be Kenny Pickett? Probably going to be Trubisky to start the season. We don't know what we're going to get from Mitchell Trubisky. He could be great. He could be the worst Trubisky we saw in Chicago. There's no way to know. That said, I think Deontay Johnson's a talented receiver, and that should shine through. I just don't know that it gets him into that like mid-range wide receiver 2. Like that might be his ceiling this season if we get what we think we're going to get out of these quarterbacks in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. What about you, Jake? How you feel about Deontay Johnson?
No, I mean, I love Deontay because, I mean, I interviewed him back when he was coming out of Toledo, and I think he came in the 3rd round. But, I mean, as far as him, I'm not guaranteeing he'll be with the Steelers at the start of the season. I mean, didn't he, like, erase, like, the Steelers from his bio or something? Like, there was all that drama going on.
Yeah.
That hasn't been, like, at least that we know, it hasn't gotten better. And I don't think it got better than drafting a guy that I think is an absolute steal in Calvin Austin and George Pickens. So you have Chase Claypool there. I mean, I don't know. I honestly wonder if people were selecting, I think maybe this is giving way too much credit because it's probably more so what Coop was saying. And they just were like, oh, Deontay Johnson, boom. But I also wonder if people are like, I don't know, like maybe the idea of him potentially leaving Pittsburgh is almost even more interesting because, who knows, like where would he go? Like, what if he went to the Niners or something and he's the replacement for Debo? Something like that, you know what I mean? And I feel like that could have something to do with it, but I was surprised it was that low. I would have picked Deontay myself because, the old, you guys have probably seen it many times. The Family Guy gif, with the mystery box. Would you rather have the boat or the mystery box? It's like you always pick the boat. And, the 2 picks, especially in the 2nd round, I mean, they're not guaranteed to be anything. They're just mystery boxes, but you know what you're getting with Deontay. So I was surprised it was lower, but I mean, I definitely would have picked Deontay for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Coop, anything to add?
Yeah. I'll just say that, like Jake was alluding to, like it drives me nuts, the Steelers, the way they let these guys go. Like during my lifetime, during my fanhood as a Patriots fan, they've let go more amazing wide receivers than we've ever drafted. You know what I mean? Like we're drafting Chad Jackson over here and they're letting Emmanuel Sanders and Mike Wallace walk because they have Antonio Brown. They're letting Juju leave. Like, I mean, geez, James Washington would probably be pretty good right now looking at some of the guys we have. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see them move on from him. And if you think about the situation, like if they do let him go as a free agent, unrestricted free agent, they're just going to get a 3rd round comp pick back. And they only get that comp pick back if they don't sign new incoming free agents. Meanwhile, Jake is basically saying, hey, why not just trade him now? Which we've seen guys, my Patriots did it with Chandler Jones. If you're not going to sign the guy, you could get a 1st, 2nd, maybe even a couple high-end picks to move this guy now. So kind of interesting thought that they maybe do trade him. But next year when that Amazon money hits and the only free agent wide receivers are basically like him, Metcalf, and McLaurin, and the next best guy is like Juju or Chark if they walk, there's like he's going to get paid big time wherever he ends up going. So they might just want to take that money now and run, especially in a year where it's going to be tough for them to win the Super Bowl with Mitch or the rookie. So yeah,
that's a really great point.
I didn't even think about that until Jake said it though. Like that's
I
that's
didn't
a
either.
Great point. I'm totally stealing that take.
Well, it sounds like,
and then your team, you go out, you trade a 2nd round pick for Sanu, so that is obviously pushed, receivers up because, we're doing the whole Christian Kirk effect. You get paid a lot. Hey, we're better than you, so we deserve to get paid up here. And then on top of it, the draft trade. I think the Marquise Brown trade was so bad. I thought it was horrible. I thought Arizona has no value of picks at all. They don't know what they're doing. It's why I think they're going to be in the basement in the NFC West. Hot take. I think Seattle passed them. But, hear me out when I say this. Arizona making that trade for Marquise Brown, I think it was a 3rd round pick swap and a 1st round pick. He's not worth a 1st round pick. He's never healthy. He has ball security issues. He's got hand issues where he can't catch the ball. And he's very much of a one-trick pony. He's not a great route runner. He's more of a guy deep over the top. I think that is going to have some, effects, some ripple effects. And I think don't be surprised if there's more receivers that are traded. And the value is it's just astronomical now because kind of similar how Kirk broke the market as far as, paying receivers. Now I feel like the Marquise Brown trade just totally broke the wide receiver trade market. And Deontay Johnson, I mean, think about this. If Marquise Brown is getting a first round pick and a third round swap, what is Deontay getting? Because Deontay is, I think, a lot better as a receiver. So you have to look at that. And I think the Steelers have a decision to make here. They have a really good roster. I think Deontay is 100% ready to go and be a number one this year for the Steelers or anybody else. But if you're, coming away from the draft and you're like, we didn't really do all that well, we didn't go out and get a receiver, Deontay Johnson might be able to be had. And I think the Steelers kind of told everyone this when they drafted 2 receivers. And not just 2, okay, they drafted a guy in the 7th. No, they got Calvin Austin in the 4th, and they got Pickens in the 2nd. So they mean business, especially with, Chase Claypool. That's the one thing I'll throw out there is that, I wouldn't be surprised if your Patriots, Coop, were interested in Deontay Johnson. He instantly becomes the number 1 receiver. He's better than Trey Nixon, so you're going out, you're getting a legit number 1. I think that's a real possibility. And again, I think a lot of it is because of over the years, the trade value. And I think Marquise Brown trade, I think is really going to open up the NFL. I think we have not seen the last of those, trades. They're not going to be draft day trades because it already happened, right? AJ Brown and Marquise Brown, but the Marquise Brown trade is going to have a ripple effect. And I don't know if DK is leaving Seattle. I don't know if Deontay is leaving Pittsburgh. I don't know if Terry McLaurin is leaving the Commanders, but there's going to be a ripple effect. And even if it's like a DJ Chark tier receiver, still really good, they could probably bring home a 2nd or a 3rd round pick too. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I like this Jake guy, and I think everything he says is factual, and it's also coming true. That's my take.
It's also coming true.
We can only hope.
I like that.
That's right.
All right, guys. We're going to get into our next poll here. Speed up a little bit. We're running a little low on time. That was Coops, right? Yep. Now we're moving on to Nate. Now we're moving on to you, Nate. Nate, here's your poll. Dynasty Superflex PPR. Which side would you rather roster? Terry McLaurin plus Derrick Henry plus Ezekiel Elliott plus a 2023 first. Or side B is Justin Fields plus Travis Etienne plus Gerald Everett. What percentage of the public chose side A in this poll?
Well, I'm going to say 81% because Derrick Henry and Ezekiel Elliott are in there, and people don't realize that these guys might be close to peaking. I'm going to say 82% for my birth year. Chose A.
82%. Locking that in?
Yep.
All right. 82%. Jake, was the actual percentage over or under Nate's guess of 82%?
Damn, you had to go to 82?
I need some points, man.
I'm going to say over because, it's got Terry McLaurin in there. So you got, if you're self-scouting here, right? Because you're like, well, I know it's Dynasty, man, but Ezekiel Elliott, yeah, it's probably not a good one, but Derrick Henry's obviously one of the best running backs, and McLaurin's young. And then the first round pick, I'm going to go with over because I think that's how people are going to think. But in reality, I don't think either's technically wrong except for the fact Ezekiel Elliott is RB2 on his own team. Sorry.
Yep. It's true.
All right, Coop. Actual percentage over or under 82%?
As a big Zeke fan, I'm going to ignore that last part. That hurt my feelings.
Tony Pollard better.
You're just getting your feelings hurt left and right here.
Tony Pollard has actually been amazing in leagues where return yards count. So that's been really good for Pollard owners. Meanwhile, Zeke's been a top 12 running back for 6 straight years. He's got the most fantasy points over the last 6 years. That's pretty good.
You give those carries to Pollard? I'm just saying.
Yeah, Pollard right up the middle, dude. I mean, yeah, give the carries up the middle of Pollard and give Zeke all those end arounds that nobody even tries to tackle on. Let's switch it up a little bit, right? Pollard can have those 1 yard carries on 3rd and 1 that Zeke gets. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the over here. I think once again, people aren't really paying attention. They're not comprehending that, Justin Fields probably is much more valuable because it says super flex there. He could be the most valuable guy in the trade, but at the same time, I don't really even like Justin Fields. So I'm going to say over on this. You can't really say what's the percentage difference for if you say way over. How far do you got to be in?
15 percentage points. 15 percentage points.
So yeah, I can't say that. So I'm going to say over.
All right, over. All right, we got some good guesses here in the chat. We got 69% from Dame. 91% from Scampers, 87% from Chevin, 70% from Craig, and 75% from Albert. All right. Well, the actual percentage of people who chose side A in this poll was Nate. I'm very glad you moved it up just one for your year because that gave you an extra 5 points here. It was 87%. It was 87% was the actual percentage of people who chose side A in this poll, and that's going to give you 5 percentage points instead of 3. So well done, Nate.
Awesome.
Good job, Nate.
And both Coop and Jake, both of you correctly guessed the over under, which is going to give you each 2 points. Well done, guys.
Nice.
Well done. I'm just going to update these scores real quick. Nate, you got 5. Jake, you got 2. Coop, you got 2. All right. And we are I made you 479 instead of.
We got a game. We got a game here.
Close.
I've never won anything on this show.
Ever.
I think this is my 8th time on. Never won.
I just need the rules explained to me 3 or 4 times, and I'm ready to rock.
Hey, it is anybody's game. All right, Jake, we're moving on to your poll here. It's Dynasty, PPR. Who would you rather roster, Sky Moore or Christian Watson?
God.
What percentage of people chose Sky Moore in this poll?
Oh man. I mean, for whatever reason, Sky Moore has this huge cult following. I'm going to say B. I'm just going to have faith in humanity. And I'm going to go with... well, I'll say this. Christian Watson, Aaron Rodgers. People might be thinking... I mean, that's not going to be long-term, but... I'll go 62% on Christian Watson, which should be the answer, because Christian Watson is astronomically better.
So 38% in Sky Moore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 38%. Locking that in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jake, or I'm sorry, Coop. Moving on to you. Would you think the actual percentage is over, under, way under? Jake's guess at 38%.
So I think it can't be way over under, or Twitter people are insane because these guys are just close. I mean, just with the landing spots with everything. I like Christian Watson better. Christian Watson has a lower floor but a higher ceiling. But I think Sky Moore is Golden Tate. So I think that it's going to be. I'll go under. Wait, 38. I'll go over. Just because I think it's closer to 50% than we might be giving it credit for. So I'm going to say it's over 38, and it's more closer to a 50-50 range for the two guys.
All right, taking the over. Nate, what do you think? Over or under? 38%.
So I'm going to take the over as well. I've seen a disturbing amount of people say Sky Moore is the next Tyreek Hill just because he landed in
Thank
Kansas
you.
City,
Oh, my
which
Lord.
It's ridiculous. I wrote up Sky Moore in January. I'm not saying that he's not talented. He's a talented receiver, but he is not Tyreek Hill. I want Christian Watson every time I have to choose between these two. But people are crazy. So I'm going to say over.
Taking the over. All right. Double over on Jake's guess of 38%. And we had some guesses here in the chat. We had Craig, 50%. Infamous IDP, 46%. Dane, 48%. Mr. Scamper, 69%. Albert, 35%. And Chevin, 49%.
Are we going to get a Mrs. Scamper appearance today?
Oh,
last time
I don't know.
Scamper.
Last time it was Mrs. Scamper. Oh, I forgot to shout out Chevin for getting exactly right on the last poll. Well done.
Wow, bro.
Chevin.
Well done.
Nice job.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm so glad that you cleared that up because I thought Chevin was actually saying this is 87%. In that case, I've just completely lost all hope.
Well, I will tell you, the actual percentage of people who chose Sky Moore in this poll was 76%.
Are you kidding me? You people are insane.
Dude, seriously, everyone thinks he's going to be Tyreek Hill.
What?
What was I missing when I watched the tape? Because I did not see that.
You know what I think it is that people just assume that they're going to find someone to do exactly what Tyreek Hill did. So they drafted a rookie with some speed, and he's going to be Tyreek Hill.
Bro,
But
you guys are.
They're not even the same. Oh my!
Not even
You
close.
guys are giving Twitter too much credit, man. These Neanderthals out there are just like Mahomes young. I'll tell you,
Timeline's so awful.
Mahomes young, Aaron Rodgers old. They're typing with one finger like this, like boop 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 boop.
I mean,
Thumbs.
Thumbs, yeah. Mahomes young, Rodgers old.
Christian Watson, like I'd understand if Christian Watson was like he had the same measurables as like I don't know David Bell, like he ran a 4.7, he's gonna be like okay, David Bell will catch everything thrown his way and will like contort his body in the weirdest situations, but I mean you're talking about a 6'5", 200-pound receiver that ran a 4.36, and it shows up on tape. And I'll be honest with you guys, when I watch Sky Moore, doesn't show up on tape with me. I actually kind of feel like the closest to Tyreek Hill in this draft would probably be, and no one wants to admit it, but it's probably Calvin Austin. I mean, oh, well, he's 5'7". I don't care. Oh, well, no one succeeds at 5'7". Again, I don't care. It's either him or Wan'Dale Robinson. I'll give him a shout out too, because it's their ability to not only eat up cushions, not get off the line of scrimmage as quickly as they do, but they are so good at just basically like if a corner tries to redirect them, they can get back on track. And, you know, they're great hands catchers. And again, it's yards after the catch. These guys will make guys miss. They can take the top off of defenses. I just don't think Sky Moore is as good as either of those guys at making guys miss. And I don't think he's anywhere near as fast on film. And Christian Watson is going to have Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football. I mean, this is one of the best picks I think Green Bay's made in a long time. I had him as a first-round grade. I mean, I think Watson could be in. And again, this is probably a little, out there. But if he starts day one and he shows that he's ready, I mean, we're looking at a 1,200 to 1,500-yard receiver in his rookie year. I mean, he is unbelievable. And now he's got Aaron Rodgers, who this guy is going to help any young quarterback that struggles and is generally accurate, not pinpoint accurate. And now you're giving him Aaron Rodgers, who's pinpoint accurate. I'm just blown away that it's that high. I feel like some people just didn't watch North Dakota State.
See, and this is why the masses need us.
Right
That's why they need us.
Yeah, damn right about that. All right, guys.
As long as stuff like this happens, content creators will have a home.
Exactly. There's built-in job security in this game. All right, guys.
Man.
We're moving on to our last poll. This one's going to be a little different. If you haven't watched before, this one's a little different than the previous rounds. I need each of you to have some form or method to write your answer down on. Each of you is going to take a percentage guess. The closest is going to get 5 points. If you get it exactly right, you're going to get 10 points. If two people have the same answer, they're going to get the same reward or lack thereof. All right, makes sense? Jake, do you have something to write on or a phone?
Do you want to repeat that for Coop one more time?
No, I do not. If not, it's fine. You can just tell us, at the same time, but
I'll figure it out. I was kind of spacing, but all right, let's do it.
I was
looking for a pen.
All right, here's your last poll. Which actor is the best Bruce Wayne? Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, or Robert Pattinson? What percentage of the public chose Ben Affleck in this poll?
Oh, goodness.
So you're going to write down your guess. Do not reveal it until I say so. I mean, you can, but it's probably not good. Jay saying, look at Coop coming prepared.
The answer's in.
And here we have Mrs. Scampers. You called and she came. Get some fresh fish on your way home, Mrs. Scampers. We are hungry. Where is he right now watching us?
The plot thickens.
You have your guesses?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I got
all right.
So it's just on Ben Affleck, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just on Ben Affleck. Yep.
Is there anything lower than 0?
All right, contestants, go ahead and reveal.
So
my brightness.
I mean, you're probably not gonna. It was 2%.
Mine's 4.
2%.
Oh, I had
4 and 8.
2, 4, and
2,
8.
4, and 8. All right.
Because, you have that cult following that thinks that, I don't know. It's so weird.
Weirdos from Boston.
Yeah.
Weirdos
and
from Boston.
I think his version was done dirty because he didn't get an actual movie, like a true standalone movie, but it wouldn't have changed anything. The other guys are just astronomically better. But yeah, I'll say 2%.
2%. All right. Well, we got guess of 2%. We got to guess 4%, guess of 8%. And in the chat, we have 12% from Craig, 18% from Scamps, Dame 6%, Shevin 9%, Brady 7%, 1% from Scampers, 15 from Albert, and 8 from Tim. Wow. Well,
Mr. Scamper should get this at 1.
He should. He didn't. The actual answer to this, the people who chose Ben Affleck as the best Bruce Wayne, is 75%. Disgustingly so. Yeah. Absolutely disgusting poll. Who in the where are these people hiding? That's just, I have no idea.
So
maybe he makes a bad Batman, but he's a good Bruce
are
Wayne.
these the same people that said they take Sky Moore over Christian Watson? Then it all makes sense, and I should have just been stupid and gone with 75% because nothing makes sense.
None of it makes sense.
I don't even know where I am right now.
What is this?
Nate, you just won.
What? Hey.
How?
Hey.
Was this poll done by Ben Affleck, Goodwill Hunting how about themapples.com or like what?
Wow. Like
it makes no sense. It's only gonna hurt you to try and reason it out, Jake.
I mean, no, these are the same people that wanted my Rams to take a punter at 104. Are still calling. They're still calling Matt Ariza a punt god when he was the 3rd overall punter taken.
The 3rd overall punter taken. Oh my goodness. Yes,
so
the polls were
stupid.
infuriating today, and I can
Wow.
take some solace in the fact that I came up with 0 of them. So blame G-Men J and J.
Great job.
It's all their fault. But Nate, you pulled out your victory. That didn't sound right. Nate, you pulled out a victory. Well done, sir.
Well, thank you. I mean, I feel kind of dirty that I won on that poll, but
Yeah, you probably should. It probably is not the best win.
hey, look, I won. I'll take it.
All right, Jake, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh,
That was a
absolutely.
blast.
This was a blast. Unfortunately, my level of humanity, I've just lost all faith. But
Yes,
at least I have my friends.
at least you have your friends. Yeah, at least we're all here.
I can't even believe what my brain is trying to process. Like, it's okay, Ben Affleck, 75%, and I'm like,
It doesn't.
no, it's not.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's
Doesn't
like,
make any
what's the
sense.
best horror movie? Jeepers Creepers. Like, no.
Oops, like that is my favorite. Shoot.
Oh,
Jeepers Creepers 2, actually.
Yeah,
no. The goat is right there wearing the Rams hat.
Halloween.
Michael
There it
Myers.
is. Yeah.
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 So I bet you those same people think that Geely was like one of the greatest rom-coms ever made. So
I never even heard of that.
I haven't either, but they put ketchup on their steak.
Yep.
They roll around in mud.
they put grapes in chicken salad.
Oh no! They put raisins and
in anything.
Oh.
My goodness.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure you go follow Jake right down there, JK Bogan, right there at JK Bogan. He's fantastic follow, and follow our other special guest fill-ins, Coop at Coupe Fiasco and Nate at Nate Pole Vote. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, like every single weekday. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, please. And trading makes fantasy fun. I'm obliged to say that, or else Josh will come back from Hawaii and yell at me. I mean, outer space. That's where he is. All right. Bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.